by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. The Clinton Chamber's Business Expo is a month away and registration is open now. Chamber Director Janice Peterson told the Hart Media Group on the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday that the 2026 Business Expo will take place on March 26th from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and will be returning to Clinton Junior High School.
It is March 26th at the junior high. Vendors will be there from 4 to 6:30. And we've got some new vendors this year so far. Registration is still open. It's open until March 6th. And actually, it's open probably a little bit later than that. We just have to make sure that we can get enough booths set up. So anybody need to contact us at the chamber. Let us know if you're interested. We've sent out mailers to all of our members. We'll have an ad going out in the Clinton Journal. It's welcome to all businesses in the community, nonprofit businesses, brick and mortar businesses, home. It's just welcome to everybody.
All right.
So there's a different fee structure a little bit because of being a chamber member or not, but we welcome anybody.
Peterson emphasizes that registration for a booth is open now to any business in the community. There is a discount for chamber members and there is no fee for nonprofits. She is excited to return to the junior high this year due to its ease of access for vendors, business owners, and the community.
You can go to our website, ClintonILChamber.com, go under news and events and to Business Expo. That gives you everything you need to know. If off the top of my head, a chamber member is $110 for a booth and non-member is $160. So nonprofits are a whole different breed. So we will, we welcome those. And there's not a charge for nonprofits. Clinton Junior High parking is great because you can park in front or in back. It's easy. There's no stairs. It's really easy to get in and out of. Obviously, there's no stairs at the high school either. But the last year we were there, we had an issue with sports. So, in fact, last year we had an issue with sports, a little bit of parking. But the whole parking lot in front of the junior high is open, and it's free to the public to attend. So there's no charge to come in and meet your business neighbors.
There are quite a few new businesses in Clinton, and Peterson hopes the community will come out to acquaint themselves and learn more about the economic development coming to the city.
Some businesses that weren't there last year or the year before coming this year. So that will, that'll be a good thing. We've reached out to the bigger businesses to see if they want to do a display. So we're excited about this year. We've invited our board members if they chose not to have a booth, because some of them it's a little bit more difficult. We've invited them just to come and hang out and visit with the businesses that are there, talk chamber with them, talk business with them. So it'll be a fun time.
Peterson adds that there will be a contest at the Business Expo this year. She is asking businesses that are attending to donate some branded items or swag that can be raffled off.
This year we've got a contest, and we're hoping that we can get donations from our businesses that are going to attend.
Okay.
And it's a passport. You'll have as you attend the expo and go to the different booths, you'll get a passport stamp at each booth and put it in for a drawing, and we'll win some prizes. So that's just something, little incentive for the businesses as well, because you get something that's got, your name on it or whatever, then we'll know people will remember you anyway.
Again, the Business Expo takes place at Clinton Junior High School on March 26th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. The registration deadline is March 6th. Register and learn more about the event at ClintonILChamber.org. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, Lincoln Community High School starts multi-tiered system of support program. A funding mistake from a yearly federal grant has opened the door for a local public safety agency to upgrade its vehicle. At last week's DeWitt County Public Safety Committee meeting, Emergency Management Agency Coordinator Will Pavlik expressed that the department's current vehicle is not suitable for emergency response. He notes that the Emergency Management Performance Grant reimburses the county for 50% of the cost for specific items, which should go back to the general fund.
So, yeah, this is, again, part of the packet that I'd given. This is something that we had kind of come across once we had discovered that there was some additional funds that were compiling in a fund. I guess I can start by talking a little bit about the history and the background of the EMPG grant, which is where this money is coming from primarily. The EMPG grant is the Emergency Management Performance Grant. It's a grant that we have to renew every year and provide an application to the state of Illinois in order to receive funding that essentially comes from FEMA, but gets funneled through Illinois and split up between the counties, and I guess not the counties, but all of the jurisdictions that are accredited in the state of Illinois. And so we get a set amount every year, and the amount that we have to spend is contingent upon certain line items that we use our budget for that are covered by this grant. So primarily it's for office equipment, auto maintenance and repair, our copier maintenance, our telephone, and a variety of other things that are kind of basic level stuff. This money is a 50-50 match. And so essentially the 50% of it that the county gets reimbursed is ideally supposed to go to the county general fund. And so we had a discussion, obviously, that the money was not going back to the county as it should. And you can correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, but the county was not receiving the reimbursement money, the 50%. They weren't losing any money because it was still all being covered by line items that were already in the general fund. But the county theoretically should have been getting money back from the reimbursement checks that we were receiving from the state of Illinois.
For at least 8 years, there has been a mistake that put those funds in EMA's grant fund rather than the reimbursement money going back to the county's general fund. Pavlik and County Administrator D.D. Rentmeister have the issue fixed going forward and have reimbursed the county for 2024.
Evidently, this had gotten compiled over the course of, I think we had tracked it back to at least 8 or 10 years.
Where they've not been reimbursing us for the funds.
They have been, but it was being put into, it wasn't being put back into the general fund, it was being put into
Our
the
grant
EMA's
monies,
grant
fund. And so that had built up again for 8 years, 10 years. And so the amount, I don't know the exact amount, I think it was somewhere along the lines of $229,000 had compiled over the course of that time. And the money that we get on an annual basis from EMPG currently is approximately $16,000. So theoretically, the money that we receive back again from EMPG should be going back to the county general fund based on that 50-50 match. So they will match obviously half of all of our costs that we submit on a quarterly basis to them. And so going forward, obviously we've talked with our processes have changed. We've reimbursed the county back for our 2024 EMPG cycle, which was at this time was just over $13,000. And then we've got our fourth quarter that's still waiting, and that's $732 and I think 20 cents or so that we're waiting back from the state for the fourth quarter of 2024. This grant cycle is from October 1st to September 30th. And so we actually have not filled out an application for the 2025 grant, which should have started October 1 of 2025 and will end September 30th of 26. There was no federal funding available for the state of Illinois for this grant. So we have not participated in that grant this year so far, and we probably will not based on discussion I've had with the state. Hopefully it will pick back up in 2026, but there's still some uncertainty with obviously the FEMA funding struggles that continue to go on a daily basis. And just for the record as well, our office was not aware that this money had compiled over the several years. We had filled it out based on how I learned when I started. And so upon the discussion, we had discovered it. And, obviously we're going to make an effort to not do that the way that it was done in the past and properly reimburse the county for it.
All that being said, it is not as simple as transferring over $200,000 from EMA's grant fund to the county's general fund. Pavlik thought that a new vehicle for the department would be a good use for some of these funds, and he received a quote for a new Ram 1500 truck for about $43,000. This would be much more capable of navigating tough terrain or off-road situations for emergency response than the current Chevy Malibu.
So with that being said, that money again is sitting in that grant monies account, and upon discussion with different folks around the county, we thought maybe it was a possibility to go ahead and purchase a new vehicle for our office. We were looking at trying to get a new Dodge Ram, and we had compared it to a couple different vehicles, and the quote that we had gotten prepared by Thomas Dodge Chrysler Jeep of Highland, which is who I found out the sheriff utilizes for their new trucks, was sitting at $43,921. And so we would be utilizing those grant funds for the payment of that. And in terms of why I'm feeling we should get something more than our Malibu, there's a couple different reasons. One main one that I was kind of wrapping my head around was just if there's any repurposing of our shelter trailer at our impound lot that we've got available, that's been sitting there for a couple of years, we would need obviously a bigger vehicle to pull that. The Malibu would not be able to service it if we needed to go out to a scene, and if we needed to have cots available, or just some basic first aid need for first responders, the public, anybody that would need assistance with some sort of clothing, food items, water. I'm not saying that's all going to be carried in the trailer, but that would be something we could repurpose it for and put it to good use. Additionally, I'm a Part 107 drone pilot, and I'm often helping Chief Deputy Spickard and Detective Aikman with some of their drone operations. If for whatever reason I needed to house the drone in our vehicle, I wouldn't have the space in the Malibu. The case takes up a vast amount of space and would be tough to fit based on what I've got in my vehicle. So it'd have to be some rearranging.
The committee briefly discussed what to do with the current EMA vehicle and decided it would best be utilized by other county departments, including zoning.
In terms of the Malibu, I was going to leave that up to the committee to see, based on discussion, I don't know if it would be worth having two vehicles in our office, or if it would be essentially a swap and we could repurpose the Malibu for another office or sell it or whatever the case is. But, that's something that we can talk about as well. So it's got just over 49,000 miles on it currently.
What's the standard process for our other vehicles? Do we trade them in to try and offset the cost? Do we
Just
try and
depends.
repurpose
In this
them?
case, I've worked that it's probably in pretty good shape. It does have low miles on it.
The Malibu?
Yeah.
The Malibu is in good shape. It's got great gas mileage, but just some of the nature of the calls that I'm going on where I'm having to go off road, it's just not ideal, and it doesn't sit very high off the ground. So there's just some issues with doing that. But
So we would look to see
it's
if
a good-
another department.
yeah, it's still a good vehicle. Absolutely.
Either send it to auction or see if another department. Zoning could probably use a new car because it's falling apart.
Has there been any occasion since you've been here where you needed a second car?
I wouldn't say needed necessarily, but there are times where Annette and I do get dragged in different directions at the same time, potentially having to respond to multiple scenes or doing our own separate, one is going to a training and one is going to another meeting during the day. And right now, one of us would have to take our personal vehicle.
Could we share it maybe? Because zoning doesn't use it every day.
I was gonna
Right.
say,
It could
it
be
could just be an extra vehicle for the county to have for
To have.
somebody that needs transportation.
The committee decided they would recommend the purchase of the new Ram 1500 truck to be voted on at this week's full board meeting, adding the recommendation of repurposing the current vehicle for other departments. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
It's time to celebrate winter. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have extra savings on all new Chevrolets this month to celebrate the winter season. See our inventory of Chevrolet Trailblazers, Blazers, and the efficient Trax. We also have a good selection of our 7-passenger Chevrolet Traverse and Tahoes. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. See our winter celebration savings at bombchevybuick.com right from the start.
News time is 24 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. High schools throughout the nation are finding and often creating new ways to support their students and cultivate growth. Lincoln Community High School Assistant Principal Candace Schmidt explains that the multi-tiered System of Support Program, or MTSS, was started a couple of years ago at the building. She said it addresses students' academic, behavioral, and emotional needs.
Absolutely. So MTSS stands for, if you don't know, a multi-tiered system of supports. So this is something that I have been very passionate about implementing here at Lincoln Community High School. When we started this, we wanted to hire a coordinator. That was kind of the first thing that was on the agenda. We hired an excellent person for that role. And me and that person really sat down. We talked about what are our main objectives here? Like, what are we trying to accomplish? And I'm the big goal person, and she was very much so the details individual. So here were the major things that we wanted to address: students' academic, behavioral, and emotional needs. Those were the big pillars of that. And what we looked at through that was we wanted to be very clear because there's a lot of student need here. We have a big population of students, and we really had to hone in what we wanted to accomplish, because you can't accomplish everything in one day. Like it's just not possible. So the major thing we wanted to do was, we thought, what is the point of this school? Like, what's the end goal for these students? And it was to get a diploma. And then how do we get that diploma? And it's obviously the grades. So we really honed in on checking those grades and making that a priority. So our major goal was, and still is, to try to get as few D's and F's as possible, in the student body. And how do we do that? We do that by helping students.
Cindy Arnold is the MTSS coordinator at LCHS and notes that she is just one of 3 interventionists who work within the building. She is in charge of looking at all the students' grades, then addressing who is doing well and who could use some extra help.
I'm the coordinator of the whole program, and I'm only one of 3 interventionists that works within it.
Gotcha.
Eric Ewald facilitates the Support Study Hall program. Michelle Hobbs facilitates both Support Study Hall and Check In, Check Out. And then I float among all of those programs and places, and I'm a part of everything there. I also run all of the data. So every 2 weeks, I look at all of the students' grades and decide who needs more support, who maybe can do some more independent work, and how that might shake out in the next couple of weeks. So 3 days a week, I spend my time in that check-in, check-out program in the cafeteria study hall. It's a large study hall, and usually there are a lot of kids. And so Michelle Hobbs and I check grades with students. We give homework support. We help them organize their materials and prioritize some of their work that they need to get done. And just generally, we encourage them and support them however they might need it.
Absolutely.
For some kids, they're just motivated to get their work done and finished because they know someone's going to be asking next week, hey, where did that grade go? How about that assignment we talked about? And that's enough for them to get the work done on their own. So other kids need more explanations on content from their classes. And since I'm a math teacher, I often have a group of students working with me on their homework. There have been times where I'm maybe working with 5 kids on 4 different math classes at the same time. We're just working through all the problems and taking turns asking questions, things like that.
While students are often encouraged to ask questions, it's not always easy to speak up. Arnold feels that this program provides a safe space for students to ask for help, and adds that it can often encourage students not in MTSS to ask questions as well.
The beauty of being in the cafeteria study hall with that program is that any kid can walk up and ask for help with their math, whether they're on my roster or not. And I have been so excited to see kids say, I'm just going to walk over and ask questions, because I know that they're talking about math and it's a safe place to do that. And I think that's really great. Well, that stigma is there. I know that we've talked about it for ages, it feels like, right? That the idea of it's okay to ask for help, but the sheer truth of it is that it's hard and it's scary. And so when you see other people asking for help, when you see other people getting help and sitting there, and actually, I've been teacher long enough, it's a whole lot more fun when people are kind of laughing and having fun doing it too, that they say, oh, I can do that too. I want to walk over there and be a part of that, even if it's just to ask one question and go back to my seat. It just really opens up the opportunity for kids to get the support they need, whether it's a whole lot or just a little, it doesn't matter. So the rest of the week, I spend my time in the support study hall, and that's exactly what it sounds like. We just offer more support for those kiddos. Instead of a few check-ins each week, these kids work with Mr. Ewald and Ms. Hobbs every single day, and they build those academic and soft skills that kids need for success, both here at school and after graduation. And so we cover everything from solving equations to writing essays to organizing work and taking pride in our work and being on time and engaging in class too. And then hopefully that transfers into being on time and being engaged at work someday as well.
Arnold has seen tangible success in students when it comes to lowering the number of classes that are being failed. She also gets a lot of positive verbal feedback from students in the program. When it comes to handling behavioral issues at LCHS, they have opted for a positive reinforcement program called Railer Rockstars, and we'll have more on that with Schmidt in the days ahead from the Heart Media Group. Now for your local obituaries. Holly L. Grimes, 69, of Clinton, passed away at 4:57 p.m. February 13th at the Ark at Normal in Normal, Illinois. Arrangements are incomplete at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Braving the worst of winter weather, rescue crews are searching for 9 backcountry skiers missing near Lake Tahoe, Northern California. Those skiers were caught in an avalanche. 6 others have been rescued. Police in the Nancy Guthrie investigation say DNA from a glove found 2 miles from the Guthrie home did not match anything in the National Criminal DNA database. No word on what his plan was or if he even had a plan. An 18-year-old Georgia man is under arrest after allegedly approaching the U.S. Capitol carrying a shotgun. President Trump says the feds are ready, willing, and able to help fix a massive spill of raw sewage into the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. On Wall Street, the Dow futures 163 points higher. NASDAQ futures are up 178. More details, srnnews.com.
From Lionsgate and Kingdom Story Company.
I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me, one of the most beloved songs of all time.
I mean, what did you think was going to happen? You're just going to ride off into the sunset, no more struggles or pain?
Comes the highly anticipated I Can Only Imagine 2.
God is in fire, and it is beautiful.
Imagine what God can do again. I Can Only Imagine 2 in theaters this Friday. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Daytime highs approaching 67. Today, under sunny skies, westerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 45. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Storms likely. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 66, more clouds than sun. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Right now, 55.
From the Heart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In a game heard on WHOW and all its digital platforms, the Clinton Lady Maroons won their 24th game in a row and tied the total win record with 28 as they beat the Maroa-Forsyth Lady Trojans by a final score of 58-44 in the Class 2A regional semifinal on Tuesday night in El Paso. Clinton started slow, but after being tied at 9 midway through the first, they jumped out ahead to lead 17-10 by the end of the quarter. They scored 17 points again in the second quarter to build the halftime lead to 34-19. The Lady Trojans outscored the Lady Maroons 25-24 in the second half. Carly Anderson led the way with 17 points for Clinton and shot 7 for 8 from the foul line. Lila Kluver added 15 points, most of which came in transition. Avery Smith had 9 and Clara Dempsey added 8. Callie Kaler paced Maroa-Forsyth with 12 points. Adeline Simmons had 11 points, and Rolinda Belazzi scored 8. With the win, Clinton improves to 28-4 overall and advances to Thursday's regional championship, a first-time trip for the team. Maroa-Forsyth finishes the season at 15-13. The Lady Maroons will take on Normal U High at El Paso Gridley on Thursday. Hear all the action on WHOW and all its digital platforms. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Clinton built a 22-11 lead early in the second quarter and held off a Monticello comeback to win 49-45 in non-conference high school boys basketball action from the Seaver Center in Monticello on Tuesday night. Each team experienced its own struggles. For Monticello, it was misses in close to the basket. The Sages shot 32.7% from the floor. The Sages continued to struggle from distance, finishing 4 of 18 from 3. For the Maroons, while shooting 33% from the floor, Clinton was just 9 of 17 from the foul line. 3 players scored in double figures for Clinton. Keaton Graves led all scorers with 14 points. Jaden Bell and Jackson Reynolds each had 13 points. The Sages held a 38-36 edge on the glass. Monticello had 14 assists on its 18 field goals and committed just 5 turnovers. Monticello was led by Matthias Rudolph's 11 points. On senior night, Nolan Bennykemper just missed out on a double-double with 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. The senior earned the State Bank of Bement Player of the Game. Clinton improves to 22-8 overall and finishes the regular season on Friday night at Argenta-Oreana. Monticello goes to 14-13 overall and visits Bismarck Henning on Friday night to close out the regular season. Both teams will host a regional semifinal game next Monday. The Cerro Gordo-Bement Broncos took down the Argenta-Oreana Bombers by a final score of 57-41 in high school boys basketball Sangamo Conference action Tuesday night in Argenta. CGB took it away early, making the score 20-7 after the first. They outscored the Bombers 37-34 the rest of the way. Isaiah Parks finished with 13 points for Argenta-Oreana. Carter Logue added 12 points, 9 of which came from long distance. Trevor Cogdill led all scorers with 21 points for Cerro Gordo-Bement. Will Fusen added 11, and Cooper Benson had 9. With the loss, Argenta-Oreana falls to 9-20 and 4-5 in the Sangamo Conference. The Broncos improved to 21-8 and 9-1 in conference play. The Bombers will take on Clinton on Friday. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The Maroa-Forsyth Trojans blew past the Riverton Hawks, defeating them 57-29 in high school boys basketball Sangamo Conference action on Tuesday night in Riverton. The Trojans held Riverton to just 2 points in the first quarter while they scored 19. The Hawks were more productive from there, trailing 36-15 at the half. Despite Maroa-Forsyth scoring just 4 points in the fourth quarter, Riverton was unable to overcome the deficit. Kobe Lane paced the Trojans with 24 points. Cabron Lee added 21 points, and Luke Smith had 7. Colton Johnson was the only player to score in double figures for the Hawks with 11 points. Jackson Traeger added 7 points, while Julian Rice had 6. With the win, Maroa-Forsyth improves to 18-8 and 6-2 in the Sangamo Conference. Riverton falls to 15-11 and 3-5 in conference play. The Trojans will play host to the New Berlin Pretzels on Friday. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. In high school girls basketball, regional scores from last night in Class 2A, Normal U High beat El Paso Gridley 61-45. They'll go on to play Clinton this Thursday. In Class 3A, Taylorville took down Springfield Lanifer 68-46. Chatham Glenwood rolled Jacksonville 67-13, while Mount Zion beat Charleston 48-29. Lincoln took down Mattoon 49-24. but Quincy Notre Dame took down Springfield Southeast 70-35. And in Class 4A, Normal Community fell to Moline 59-27. Illinois dropped its home opener to Butler 10-8 on Tuesday night at Illinois Field. A.J. Putty led the offense with a 3-for-5 day at the plate, posting a career-high 3 hits while driving in 2 runs and scoring twice. Nick Groves went 2-for-4 with a walk and a run. Colin Jennings was 2-for-5 on the day with an RBI and a run scored, while Cole Wareheim went 2-for-5 for his first 2 hits of the season. On the mound, Aaliyah McKillop and Sam Mommer combined to toss 3 scoreless innings in relief. Illinois heads to Coastal Carolina for baseball at the beach from February 20th through the 22nd. The Illini will take on VCU twice on February 20th and 21st before playing host to number 6 ranked Chanticleers twice on February 21st and 22nd. The Illinois State baseball program captured a 9-5 victory over SIUE in a midweek contest Tuesday afternoon at Roy E. Lee Field at Simmons Baseball Complex. The Redbirds used a 6-run 9th inning to move past the Cougars and captured Illinois State's 3rd win of the season. The Redbirds bullpen played a pivotal role in the victory as junior Lucas Foley, Nolan Gerard, and graduate Reese Clapp combined for 8 innings pitched and limited SIUE to just 2 runs. The trio also combined for 11 combined strikeouts and allowed 1 walk. After allowing 3 runs in the first innings, the Redbirds held SIUE to 7 straight scoreless innings, including Gerard retiring the first 7 Cougar hitters he faced out of the bullpen. Graduate Peyton McHarg led the way offensively for the Redbirds in the contest with a 2-for-4 performance, including his first career home run and RBI double. The 2-hit is his first multi-hit game as a Redbird. Senior Josh Outlaw joined McHarg with 2 hits, a pair of doubles, including a 2 RBI double. Senior Cannon Coakley also added a 2-for-3 performance with a pair of singles for his first multi-hit game as a Redbird. And the Redbirds jumped out to an early lead as junior Ryan Bakes drove home his brother, redshirt sophomore Braden Bakes, on an RBI double to give Illinois State a 1-0 advantage in the opening frame. In the bottom of the first inning, SIUE would respond with a 3-run inning to claim a 3-1 lead. Later in the contest, in the 6th inning, McHarg pulled a run back for the Redbirds with a solo blast to make the score 3-2. McHarg's home run is the first in the Division I level of his career. Following back-to-back walks, including a hit-by-pitch from senior Cannon Coakley, senior Josh Outlaw tied the game with an RBI ground rule double as graduate Camden Karchewski scored the tying run. In the 9th, the Redbirds claimed the lead following a pair of walks and an RBI double from McHarg as Ryan Bakes scored to move the score to 4-3. Moments later, with the bases loaded, sophomore transfer Louis Boussard recorded a 2 RBI double in his first appearance as a Redbird to push Illinois State in front 6-3. Outlaw added a pair of runs with a double to extend the Redbirds' lead to 8-3 as junior Luke Stolga notched a single to make the score 9-3. The Cougars added a pair of runs in the bottom of the 9th to make the score 9-5. In NCAA men's basketball action last night, number 1 Michigan beat number 7 Purdue 91-80, while Southern Methodist University upset number 21 Louisville 95-85. 22nd ranked Miami at Ohio beat UMass 86-77. While number 12 Florida took down South Carolina 76-62. Rhode Island upset number 18 St. Louis 81-76, while North Carolina State upsets UNC, who's ranked 16th, 82-58 in a dominant win. Number 15 Michigan State beat UCLA 82-59, while Ohio State upset 24 ranked Wisconsin 86-69. Iowa upset number 9 Nebraska 57-52, while Arizona State upset number 13 Texas Tech 72-67. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL Sports Wire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Let's check Ag News on the RFD Radio Network. I'm DeVos Yonke. Longtime criticism in D.C. is that the U.S. Department of Agriculture computers don't talk to each other in different divisions of the organization.